Focus on it and then gradually bring your awareness to your 4 corner fields of vision. Your top left, top right, and bottom left. I'm sure you would not disagree that there is much frustration in this life. One of the simplest ones is that incessant internal monologue, especially in those moments when you're trying to get to bed and that reoccurring thought crops up again. And why do all of these thoughts typically have their roots ensconced in some kind of fear, in some kind of shame, in some kind of guilt, or general disquiet and discontent at the future? What if there was a way to quickly dispel that internal monologue and bring you back home into equilibrium or parasympathetic response? Yes, there is indeed a way. And by the end of this video, I'm going to detail out how you can do it. So please stay to the end of the video and I promise you I will give you the keys to quieting down that mind. We're first going to give our appreciation for Careless Opinion 407, giving us the secret trick to stopping this internal monologue. A little sidebar here is I first learned of this technique prior to this particular post. It did refresh the technique in my mind and I thought it would be of utility to share it with you gentlemen here with a couple other nuances to the technique. So let's just go through this all together. Hello everyone. I've been meditating or trying to meditate over 12 years and could never really rein in my turbulent inner monologue. It never stopped for more than just a few seconds at most, and I even started believing that it was not supposed to. But that would make concentration, meditation, impossible, as we know that it isn't. Anyway, here's the information for all of you with love. Focusing on peripheral vision stops the internal monologue. Look anywhere, softly, gentle focus on what you see in the 4 corners of your eyes, and that is the technique in its simplicity. There is no mention of this apart from in one book I found and like. One old study about hypnosis techniques, but focusing on peripheral vision apparently engages the parasympathetic nervous system, calming you down and quieting the internal dialogue. I hope this helps many people. There are a few cute little comments here around the success of this particular technique. It worked and I started freaking out because my mind has never shut up like that before. It was almost eerie how quiet it was and I couldn't deal with it for very long. Guess it'll take some getting used to. Yeah, my brain reacted in a very strange way. Looks like I have to do it more often. Super cool trick. Yeah, that's a nice hack indeed. One of the books that elaborates on this idea in more detail is Hidden Zen by Medio Moore. But one of the key techniques of Douglas Harding, headlessness way, the single eye instructions are essentially the same. Although it doesn't elaborate on the role of peripheral vision too explicitly, it kind of clicks naturally while experimenting with the technique. My personal modification to that is being aware of the no boundary, where physical sensations from my face and visual sensations from my field of visions meet and seemingly merge into one another. Marvelous. So I imagine that very many of you are going cross-eyed at this very moment or in the other direction. I'm going to give you the steps that you need in order to practically apply this to your lives. So step 1 is to find a object of focus. It might be something like the video that you're watching me on, or even a pen or a pencil in front of your eyes like so. Focus on it and then gradually bring your awareness to your 4 corner fields of vision. Your top left, top right, and bottom left. Now, you're not looking at these directly. You're just bringing your awareness to these points. If you do find this difficult, a really good way that I learned is to get your hands and bring your hands away from your focal vision until they start to merge and bleed out away from your peripheral vision. Wiggle your fingers to the point where you could just barely see them and you're just sensing them. That is the area that you need to be focusing on. And you'll find that it's easier to become present and you're no longer referring back to that incessant headlessness or internal monologue in your head. Now that I'm even doing this, I'm finding it's very difficult or increasingly easier to talk. This is exercising of your exteroception skills. Anyone adept in the mindfulness branch of meditation will be able to pick this up very quickly. Another way you might understand this is spatial awareness, having acute sensitivity towards things in your peripheral vision and the spatial aspect of your surroundings. So typically within Western society, we employ a field of vision called foveal vision, where our field of vision is focused to one particular object or subject within that field of vision. And this enables us to discern intricate details around that particular foveal point. Now, this particular mode of vision is typically employed when we're doing such things like watching TV, watching this video, focusing on our phones, perusing in written text, and engaging in conversations also. Our attention is simply directed at the subject and disregards everything else in the peripheral aspects of the field of vision. Now, when you're engaging in peripheral vision, you might have discerned certain physiological manifestations. One of the more palpable ones is the transition in your respiratory patterns. You downshift from shallow upper respiratory contractions to lower belly breathing. You also experience a reduced tension in the jaw and the neck area in transition. Furthermore, some of us experience a gentle permeating of heat in the hands also. And of course, if you typically engage in this incessant internal dialogue, thoughts going haywire, you will notice a tangible difference in the cessation of these kinds of thoughts. So it does appear that the utilization of foveal vision is actually intrinsically related to the sympathetic nervous system. And this is related to the branch of the body that is responsible for mobilizing the body, instigating adrenaline release, and managing responses towards stress. So conversely, peripheral vision is associated with a parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, the rest and digest response. This typically promotes a feeling of tranquility and rejuvenation in the nervous system. This is where your arteries and veins start to vasodilate and you get an uptick of blood towards the areas associated for recovery, which might actually be why the hands start to get warmer as the capillaries in the hands start to dilate. So you're rejuvenating in these particular aspects of the parasympathetic response. And now it becomes physically and easily feasible to subvert fear and stress and start to go towards rest and digest. What is also very interesting to note is that peripheral vision holds a notable presence with numerous ancient cultures, serving as a valuable means to attain higher states. You can imagine within hunter-gatherer societies, peripheral vision is essential when you're hunting your next meal. It is pivotal towards these endeavors to be able to detect and track prey without moving the body, moving the head, and giving away your hidden position. So what I'm trying to convey here is that this is first and fundamentally a skill that we were probably very, very proficient in those kind of contexts. It's a survival mechanism. In that same way, you can also attribute this to martial arts also. Peripheral vision within martial arts allows the individual to become cognizant of attacks coming outside the field of vision if you're focusing on someone's like face, or if you're being attacked by multiple individuals, it usually is a resourceful skill to identify other attackers coming in the peripheral vision as opposed to the foveal vision. So this has enormous utility to our daily lives, not just beyond regulating our own parasympathetic response. Now, gentlemen, not a lot of men or women know that for that matter. Please try it out for yourself, and you'll be. What I want you to do is notice again the subtle physical changes that are happening with the transition from the upper chest to the lower belly, to the releasing of tension around the neck and the jaw areas, to the heat in the hands. And you also might find that your exhalations get longer as parasympathetic response has taken over. These are not theories, gentlemen. These are facts. Speak soon.